How's it going on, everybody? D-Stosh here, and if you didn't know, there was a small section of the Shadows of Reach novel released online, narrated by Steve Downes, and I'm actually really happy with the direction that this novel is going. Now, what I want to get out of the way first is that it really, I was really surprised that it didn't retcon a lot of Halo 5. In fact, it even really ties into a lot of what happened in that game. And I'm glad that they're doing this because I may not, love Halo 5, but I feel like the way going forward is to not erase what happened in the past. Rather, build upon it, even though it's maybe not that great of a base, but I don't want them to retcon things. Now, like a big issue I had with Halo 5 is that it basically retconned a lot of Halo 4, and I don't want that happening with Halo Infinite. I don't want it to retcon stuff. I don't want it to start over. I want a continuing plot. And from this excerpt from the Shadows of Reach novel, I'm actually really happy that they are bringing a lot of concepts from Halo 5 into this new age of Halo. At least I hope so. We know that this novel is really supposed to tie into Halo Infinite and act as kind of like the Fall of Reach did for Halo Combat Evolved. But it mentions things like the Guardians, the Created, and it kind of sets the context for how they exist in this new universe. They're more of a police kind of force that kind of enforce the galaxy, but they seem to be kind of in the background. So while they're not first and foremost, of course, that would probably be the Banished or some other villain, but at least they're still around, and there's world building in this excerpt alone. It talks about how the AI have kind of become like the secret police of the Halo universe, and everything is being monitored by the AI, and it's kind of like a hellscape. It may even be worse than the Covenant War, because at least in the Covenant War there was freedoms, and you fought, and it was a conflict that had hope. But here there seems to be this tight grip around the galaxy by the Created, and there seems to be very little hope. Of course, this novel probably won't go that deep into that aspect of the Halo universe. That's probably going to be reserved for Halo Infinite, but I'm glad that it's being set up. I also found it really cool that they're bringing a lot of Halo 4 stuff in here too. They mention things like Cortana sacrificing herself to stop the Didax ship, the Composer. And something that really caught me off guard is that the amount of guilt Chief feels about the state of the galaxy, because this kind of is a retcon, because it didn't really happen this way in Halo 4, but they say, like, I should have stopped Cortana from going into the domain. And while, within the context of Halo 4, that doesn't really happen. It just, Cortana just kind of does what she does. We don't know what she's doing. But here it kind of recontextualizes that, and, Master Chief questions whether he should have stopped Cortana from going into the domain. But of course, he's torn on that, because if he didn't stop her from going into the domain, then she wouldn't have been able to stop the Didact. So it really recontextualizes Halo 4, and it brings a lot of Halo 5 concepts into this new universe, and I'm really happy it's doing that. I also really appreciated the personal connection John has to Reach. It talks about how he always paid special attention to Reach when it was brought up in briefings, so I'm really interested in this new direction that Halo is going. I hope that it kind of leans more into the Halo 4 model of storytelling, where Chief is more of a character. And he's more of a character in this novel, but Chief has always been, a character in the novels. I mean, he kind of has to be. I just hope that this character work can be brought over into Halo Infinite. And if it is, I think Halo Infinite could be, at least have a great story for Master Chief. But anyways, those were just my thoughts on the small little excerpt we got from Shadows of Reach. You can watch it online, and I may leave a link in the description, but overall, really happy with what they're doing, and hopefully this can transfer over to Halo Infinite. Anyways, did you listen to the excerpt, and how do you feel about it? And what do you hope that it could bring to the table for Halo Infinite? I would love to hear what your thoughts are in the comments, and anyways, this was D-Stosh, and I'll see you in the next one. D-Stosh out.